You are on the verge of learning something that can change everything for you. The difference between those who just exist and those who truly succeed isn't luck. It's what they know and how they use that knowledge. If you want to stay ahead of the game, to rise above the noise, to break through the average and make your mark, then you need to do one thing: educate yourself every day. Right now, you have the power to unlock something in your life that most people never will. A sharp, unstoppable mind that will guide you through challenges, help you seize opportunities, and give you the strength to push past the competition. Education isn't just about learning facts, it's about reshaping your future, about taking control of what happens next, and staying ahead of 99% of people who aren't willing to do the work. This conversation isn't just another generic tip-filled talk. By the end of this conversation, you'll have a strategy you can start today, a mindset shift that will keep you motivated every single day, and a clear path to leveling up. What I'm going to share with you will not only help you rise above the crowd, it'll put you on the fast track to success. Stick with me, and I promise this will be the most important decision you make today. Let's dive into how you can start educating yourself every day and create a future that's not only successful, but truly extraordinary. Number 1, why most people stay average while the successful keep learning. Let me tell you something. Most people never hear in their entire lifetime: the world doesn't wait for anyone. It keeps moving. It keeps evolving. And if you're not learning every single day, if you're not improving yourself, you're falling behind. Not staying in the same place, falling behind. Because while you're standing still, someone else is getting better, someone else is reading, someone else is growing, someone else is taking action, and before you know it, they've left you behind. The reason most people never reach their full potential isn't because they lack talent. It's not because they weren't born with intelligence or resources or the right connections. No, the real reason is that they stop learning. They stop improving. They stop feeding their mind. And the moment you stop learning, the moment you decide you already know enough, you start losing. You lose opportunities. You lose growth. You lose your edge. Think about it. The most successful people in the world, entrepreneurs, leaders, innovators, they never stop learning. They never stop reading, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for ways to improve. Why? Because they understand one simple truth: knowledge is power, and not the kind of knowledge you get from a school textbook. No, I'm talking about real knowledge, the kind that helps you make better decisions, the kind that helps you solve problems, the kind that gives you an advantage in life. And here's the sad reality. Most people don't do this. They graduate, get a job, and then they stop learning. They think school was enough. They think they've done their time. And that's exactly why they stay average while others rise to the top, because the ones who keep learning, keep winning. Now let me ask you something. 5 years from now, do you want to be in the same place you are today? Do you want to be struggling with the same problems, making the same money, dealing with the same frustrations? Or do you want to be ahead, stronger, smarter, more successful, more capable? The answer is obvious. But the only way to get there is to start learning every single day. I don't care how busy you are. I don't care how tired you feel. I don't care what excuses you have. If you have time to scroll on your phone, if you have time to watch TV, if you have time to gossip about other people's lives, then you have time to educate yourself. It's about priorities. The ones who succeed in life aren't the ones who had the easiest path. They're the ones who made learning a priority. And don't tell me you don't know where to start. There are books, audiobooks, podcasts, online courses, mentors, experiences. You have access to more knowledge in the palm of your hand than any other generation in history. And yet most people waste it. They use their phone for entertainment instead of education. They use the internet for distractions instead of development. That's why they stay stuck. You see, there's a difference between people who struggle and people who succeed. And it's not luck. It's not genetics. It's not even talent. It's what they do every single day. The ones who get ahead are the ones who commit to growth. The ones who keep pushing themselves, keep expanding their minds, keep looking for ways to improve. Because every time you learn something new, you're adding another tool to your toolbox. Every time you educate yourself, you're making yourself more valuable, and value is what gets rewarded in life. Let's get real for a second. If you're not learning, you're getting left behind. Period. It doesn't matter how smart you were in school, it doesn't matter what degree you have. The world is changing too fast for you to rely on what you learned years ago. What worked 5 years ago might not work today. What works today might not work 5 years from now. The only way to stay ahead is to keep learning, keep adapting, keep growing. And if you don't, you will regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you'll look around and realize you're stuck. You'll see others advancing, getting better jobs, making more money, building a life you wish you had, and you'll wonder what happened. I'll tell you what happened. They kept learning, they kept evolving, and you didn't. But listen to me. It's not too late. It's never too late to start. If you're watching this right now, this is your wake-up call. This is your chance to make a decision that will change your life. Right now in this moment, decide that you will never stop learning. Decide that every day, you will invest in yourself, you will grow, you will improve. Because once you make that decision, everything changes. Your mindset shifts, your habits shift, your future shifts. So what are you going to do? Go back to the same routine, wake up, work, go home, repeat, or are you going to break free? Are you going to take control of your life and start doing what successful people do? The choice is yours. But I'll tell you this, 5 years from now, you will look back at this moment and you will either be grateful you started today, or you will regret that you didn't. So start now. Pick up a book. Listen to a great speaker. Learn from people who have done what you want to do. But whatever you do, don't stand still, because the world isn't waiting for you. It never has. And it never will.
Number 2. If you don't learn every day, you'll regret it in 5 years. You are one decision away from changing your entire life. You might not believe it now, but let me tell you something that will set the tone for everything that follows. Where you are today is the result of the decisions you made yesterday. And if you keep making the same decisions tomorrow, you're going to end up in the same place. If you want a different future, it starts with the simple choice to educate yourself every single day. I want you to understand something crucial. In 5 years, you're either going to look back and be amazed at how far you've come, or you're going to look back with regret, wondering why you didn't take action sooner. The difference between those two outcomes is the commitment to learning. You see, the world isn't waiting for you to catch up. It's moving forward. And if you're not keeping up, you're falling behind. That's the harsh truth. We all have the same amount of time each day, but the winners are the ones who use that time to get better, to learn more, and to sharpen their skills. If you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're stagnating. The reality is you can either sit back and let life pass you by, or you can take control of your future by investing in yourself. And let me tell you, there's no better investment than education. The people who take their education seriously are the ones who are shaping the future. And you have the same opportunity in front of you. Right now, today is the time to decide that you are going to invest in your own growth. This is the secret to staying ahead of 99% of people who simply float through life without any real direction or purpose. When I say educate yourself every day, I don't mean that you have to go back to school or sit in a classroom for hours. I mean that you should be learning something new every single day. Whether it's through reading, listening to podcasts, watching videos, or having deep, meaningful conversations with people who inspire you. The world is full of knowledge, and the ones who succeed are the ones who make the conscious decision to seek it out. You don't need a degree to be successful, but you do need the right mindset. The mindset that believes you are capable of learning and growing every single day. Think about this. Where would you be today if 5 years ago you decided to commit to learning just 30 minutes a day? Just think about it. If you made a habit of reading a book, watching a documentary, or listening to something educational for half an hour every day, you'd have thousands of hours of knowledge and experience under your belt by now. And the beauty of it is that the time will pass whether you're learning or not. You don't get to choose whether time moves forward, but you do get to choose how you use it. You get to decide if you're going to spend the next 5 years staying where you are, or if you're going to level up and move forward in your life. Let me be blunt with you. If you don't make learning a daily habit, you're going to regret it in 5 years. You may think that you're fine, that you're doing okay now, but the truth is, without consistent learning, you're falling behind. Things are changing so fast, especially with technology, business, and the way people live and work. If you're not staying up to date, you're going to find yourself left behind. And trust me, there's nothing more frustrating than realizing you've wasted years doing the same thing over and over while the world around you has evolved. But here's the good news, it's never too late to start. 5 years from now, you can be the person who looks back with pride at how much you've accomplished, or you can be the person who wonders what happened to all that time. The difference is the choice you make today. If you want to be the person who looks back and says, I made something of myself, then you need to start investing in your mind right now. I know you're probably busy, you've got responsibilities, you've got a million things on your plate. But let me tell you something. The most successful people in the world aren't any busier than you. They just use their time differently. They don't wait for the perfect moment to start learning, they start right now. The person who reads for 15 minutes a day is going to be miles ahead of the person who spends that same 15 minutes scrolling through social media or watching television. It doesn't take much, but it takes consistency. If you commit to learning for just 30 minutes a day, you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make. Now I want to talk to you about the mindset that holds people back. So many people look at learning as something they'll do someday, or when they have more time, or when they're in a better place. But let me tell you, there is no perfect time to start. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. The time is now. The time to start learning is today. It's not about having more time, it's about making the time you have count. If you want to stay ahead of the pack, you have to be relentless about your personal growth. You have to decide that every day is an opportunity to get better. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new, to expand your knowledge and to improve yourself. This is how you get ahead. This is how you create the life you want. But here's the kicker, it's not just about learning new things. It's about applying what you learn. Knowledge without action is useless. You can read 100 books, listen to 1,000 podcasts, and watch hours of educational videos. But if you don't take what you've learned and put it into practice, it won't make a difference in your life. That's where most people fall short. They acquire knowledge but never use it. They stay stuck in the cycle of consuming information without ever putting it into action. The true power of learning comes when you take that knowledge and apply it. When you take that information and turn it into results. And that's what separates the successful from the average. Successful people don't just accumulate knowledge. They use it to take action, to build and to create. They learn, they apply, and they grow. In 5 years, you'll look back and see exactly where your choices have taken you. Will you be living the life you've always dreamed of? Or will you still be in the same place, wishing you had started earlier? The only difference between the two outcomes is the commitment to learning every day, the decision to invest in yourself, to make learning a non-negotiable part of your life, will be the key to your success. So make that decision today. Commit to learning something new every day. Start small but be consistent. And in 5 years, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. It's time to take control of your future. One lesson at a time.
Number 3. How 1 hour of learning a day can change your entire future. 1 hour. That's all it takes to change the direction of your life. 60 minutes a day. The difference between people who make something of themselves and those who stay stuck isn't talent, isn't luck, isn't some secret advantage. It's what they do with their time. And if you commit just 1 hour every single day to learning, growing, and expanding your mind, you will be shocked at how much your life changes in the next year, 5 years, 10 years. But the problem? Most people waste that hour. They don't even realize they have it. They spend it scrolling through their phones, watching pointless videos, caught up in distractions that do nothing for their future. And then they wonder why they're stuck. They wonder why life feels stagnant, why nothing is changing, why the years keep passing but their situation stays the same. 1 hour of learning a day might not seem like much, but over time it adds up to something life-changing. Think about this. If you read for 1 hour every day, that's 365 hours in a year. That's the equivalent of reading dozens of books, mastering new skills, gaining insights that most people never even bother to seek out. That's the difference between someone who grows and someone who stays the same. And when you multiply that over 5 years, 10 years, you become a completely different person. While everyone else is making excuses, saying they don't have time,
you will have built a level of knowledge and wisdom that separates you from the crowd. But here's the thing, it's not just about reading, it's about intentional learning. It's about choosing what you consume wisely. The information you put into your mind shapes the way you think, the way you make decisions, the way you see the world. And if you're not careful, if you let your mind be filled with garbage, distractions, and useless entertainment, that's exactly what your life will reflect. Garbage in, garbage out. But if you commit to feeding your mind with powerful ideas, with knowledge that sharpens you, strengthens you, makes you better, then your life will start to transform in ways you never imagined. Now let me tell you why this works. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you expose it to. The more you learn, the more connections your brain builds, the more your thinking expands. You start to see opportunities you never noticed before. You start to develop skills you never thought you had. And over time, you gain an advantage that most people don't have. The ability to adapt, to grow, to stay ahead. The world is changing faster than ever. And if you're not learning, if you're not upgrading your knowledge every day, you are falling behind. It's not a theory, it's a fact. Think about the most successful people in the world, the ones who are at the top of their game. Do you think they stopped learning once they made it? No. They became obsessed with learning. Warren Buffett spends hours reading every day. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science just by studying books. The greatest minds in history dedicated themselves to lifelong learning because they understood something most people ignore. Knowledge is power, but only if you use it. Now let me ask you something. How much time do you waste every day? Be honest with yourself. How much time do you spend on things that do nothing for your future? How often do you say, I don't have time, while spending hours on distractions? If you can carve out just 1 hour a day, just one, and use it to educate yourself, your future will look completely different from where it is now. This is not about working harder. This is about working smarter. This is about doing what others won't, so you can live how others can't. So here's your challenge. Starting today, set aside 1 hour every single day for learning. No excuses, no distractions. Read a book, listen to a podcast, take a course, study a subject that will make you better. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it. Because 5 years from now, you will either be grateful you started today, or you will regret that you didn't. The choice is yours.
Number 4. The silent trap that keeps people stuck in life. Imagine this. You've got big dreams, big goals, and a vision of the future you want to build. You're excited, motivated, and you can see yourself living the life you've always wanted. But here's the thing. Despite all the passion, the excitement, and the drive you have, there's a silent trap that could keep you from ever reaching that future. And this trap is more dangerous than you think. It's not obvious, and it's not something you'll necessarily see coming. It's sneaky, subtle, and it's been holding you back without you even realizing it. But here's the thing. Once you spot it, you can break free. The trap I'm talking about is comfort. Now, I'm not talking about the comfort of a warm bed or a relaxing weekend. I'm talking about the kind of comfort that lulls you into staying exactly where you are, even though you know you're capable of more. It's that feeling of ease, of familiarity, that tells you it's okay to stay where you are. It's a lie, though. A subtle lie that keeps you stuck in the same place, day in and day out. You might be making just enough money to get by, or maybe you're getting by with a job that doesn't excite you but pays the bills. And because you've gotten used to it, you start to think it's okay to just stay in that place. Let me tell you something. Comfort is one of the most dangerous traps you'll ever face. It convinces you that where you are is good enough. It tricks you into believing that the path of least resistance is the right path. But the truth is, comfort is what keeps people stuck in the same place for years. It keeps you from pushing yourself, from reaching for more, from taking risks that could change your life forever. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone. It doesn't require effort, it doesn't require growth, and it doesn't require you to face your fears. But here's the cold truth. You cannot grow in a place of comfort. You might be telling yourself, I'm fine where I am. I don't need to do anything extra. But the truth is, if you're not growing, you're shrinking. Comfort zones are dangerous because they feel safe, but they're the very reason you're not progressing. If you've ever felt like you're stuck, like you're not moving forward, It's likely because you're letting comfort take the wheel. Comfort is that voice in your head that says, why take that risk? Why try something new? You've got it good enough. But here's the thing. You can have it better, and you'll never know how much better it could be until you make the decision to get uncomfortable. I know it's hard to step out of that zone of comfort. We all have it. We all have that safe space we create for ourselves. It's the place where we feel secure, where we know what to expect, and where we don't have to face the unknown. But if you're serious about achieving greatness, about living the life you've always dreamed of, you have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone. You've got to embrace discomfort, because that's where the growth happens. That's where the change happens. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. It will feel like you're taking a leap into the unknown. But I promise you that's where you'll find the real you. The version of yourself that's capable of achieving everything you've ever wanted. Now, I'm not saying you need to throw everything away and live in constant chaos or risk-taking. What I'm saying is that you need to stop accepting mediocrity. You need to stop settling for good enough. You need to stop letting comfort control your life. If you want to be successful, you've got to be willing to do things that are uncomfortable. You've got to make sacrifices, push through challenges, and take risks that feel scary at first. That's the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who never leave the starting line. It's easy to stay in the trap of comfort, but what you don't realize is that time is ticking away. Each day that you spend in your comfort zone is a day that you could have spent building your future. Each hour you waste staying exactly where you are is an hour you can never get back. The people who succeed, the ones who rise above the rest, are the ones who understand this. They are the ones who wake up every day, look at their goals and say, what do I need to do today to move closer to where I want to be? And here's the key. They don't just think about it, they do something about it. They get uncomfortable. They take action. They push themselves out of their comfort zone, knowing that's where the magic happens. You see, comfort doesn't allow you to grow. Comfort doesn't stretch you. Comfort doesn't challenge you to become better than you were yesterday. If you want to be a better version of yourself, you have to be willing to push yourself to places you've never been. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable, to face challenges head on, and to keep going even when things feel tough. The road to success is paved with discomfort, and those who are willing to face it head on are the ones who will make it to the other side. But here's the good news. Every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you get stronger. Every time you face that fear, you grow. Every time you take a risk, you learn. And over time, that discomfort becomes familiar. It becomes the new norm. What once felt impossible becomes just another challenge you know you can handle. And when that happens, when you learn how to embrace discomfort, you'll find that success isn't so far out of reach anymore. The truth is, we all have dreams. We all have things we want to accomplish. But the only way to make those dreams a reality is by stepping out of your comfort zone. The road to success isn't a smooth, straight path. It's full of bumps, detours, and obstacles. But if you're willing to take the uncomfortable path, you'll find that the rewards are worth every bit of effort. So what's the next step? It's simple. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to make a move. Stop hoping that success will come to you. Take action, get uncomfortable, and start doing the work. The world isn't going to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. But if you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone and take bold, courageous action, you'll find that everything you want is waiting for you on the other side of that discomfort. The trap is real, but you don't have to stay stuck in it. You can break free, and you will. All it takes is the courage to step out and take that first step.
Number 5. What the top 1% do every day that the rest ignore. The gap between the top 1% and the rest isn't luck. It's not talent, not family background, and it's not even intelligence. The real difference? Daily habits. The way they think, the way they operate, and most importantly, the way they learn every single day. While the majority of people go through life reacting to what happens, the top 1% take control. They don't wait for success to find them, they chase it down, one day at a time by doing what others refuse to do. If you look at the most successful people in the world, entrepreneurs, world-class athletes, self-made millionaires,
They all have one thing in common. They dedicate time to learning and self-improvement every single day. While others are distracted, wasting time or making excuses, they are reading, studying, practicing, and refining their skills. They understand a simple truth. Your future is determined by what you do every day. Not once in a while, not when you feel like it, every single day. The biggest mistake people make is assuming that life gets better on its own. It doesn't. Life doesn't just hand out success. You have to earn it. And you earn it by making yourself more valuable. The reason the top 1% stay ahead is because they never stop learning. They don't let their minds go stagnant. They don't let their skills get outdated. They don't get comfortable thinking they already know enough. Every day they ask themselves, how can I get better? What new skill can I learn? What knowledge can I gain that will set me apart? And while others are scrolling endlessly on their phones, watching meaningless content, or getting lost in entertainment, they are sharpening their minds, expanding their knowledge, and increasing their value. The people at the top are obsessed with growth. They don't just go to school, get a degree, and stop learning. No, they read books on leadership, success, finance, psychology, whatever gives them an edge. They seek out mentors, take courses, and study the best in their fields. They invest in their minds because they know that knowledge compounds over time. One new idea, one new skill, one new strategy could be the thing that changes everything. But they don't just wait for that knowledge to come to them. They actively seek it out. Here's something most people don't realize. Every skill you develop, every book you read, every hour you dedicate to learning is like stacking bricks. At first, it doesn't seem like much. One book, one course, one podcast, it might feel small. But over time, those bricks build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake you. The top 1% understand that success is built brick by brick, and they are relentless in their pursuit of knowledge. They know that the more they learn, the more they can earn. The more they grow, the more opportunities they create. While others wait for things to happen, they make things happen. But let's talk about the real reason why so many people stay behind. It's not because they don't have access to knowledge. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they don't have the discipline to stay consistent. The average person might read a book here and there. They might get inspired for a week and then go right back to their old habits. But the top 1%, they are consistent. They don't just learn when it's convenient. They make it a non-negotiable habit, even when they're busy, even when they're tired, even when they don't feel like it, they show up. Because they understand that knowledge is power, but only when it's applied consistently over time. Success isn't about luck. It's about stacking small wins every day until they turn into something massive. The top 1% don't waste time complaining about what they don't have. They take what they do have and maximize it. They don't sit around waiting for the perfect opportunity. They prepare themselves so that when the opportunity comes, they're ready. And that's the difference. If you want to be in the top 1%, you have to do what the 99% won't. You have to commit to learning every single day. You have to push yourself to grow even when it's uncomfortable. You have to develop skills that make you more valuable. Because the world doesn't pay for mediocrity. It rewards those who are exceptional. And the only way to become exceptional is to never stop learning, never stop growing, and never settle for less than you're capable of. So ask yourself right now, are you going to keep doing what the majority does, coasting through life waiting for success to find you? Or are you going to take control, invest in yourself, and separate yourself from the rest? The choice is yours. But if you truly want to get ahead, if you truly want to create a life that others only dream about, then start today. Start learning, start growing, and never stop. Because the moment you commit to daily self-education, you put yourself on a path that 99% of people will never have the discipline to follow. And that right there is what separates the successful from the average. Number 6. Why your mindset about learning is keeping you broke and unsuccessful. The reason some people dominate life while others struggle isn't because they were born different. It's not because they had better opportunities or more luck. It's because they made a decision, an unshakable commitment to rise above, to push past their limits, and to do whatever it takes to create the life they want. They don't wait for permission. They don't sit around hoping things will change. They take control. They take action. And they do it every single day. While others waste time making excuses, they're out there building their future, brick by brick, moment by moment, decision by decision. You have to understand something. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It doesn't come to the smartest. It doesn't come to the person with the best connections. It comes to the one who refuses to quit. The one who shows up when no one is watching. The one who keeps grinding even when they don't feel like it. You don't have to be the best right now. You don't have to have it all figured out. But what you do need is an unstoppable mindset. A mentality that says, I will not back down. I will not stop. I will not settle for anything less than what I know I'm capable of. That's the difference between winners and those who stay stuck in the same place year after year. The reason so many people fail isn't because they don't have what it takes. It's because they stop. They start something, they get excited, and then the moment it gets hard, they quit. The moment they don't see results fast enough, they give up. The moment they face resistance, they turn back. But the ones who truly make it, they don't stop when it gets hard. They don't quit when they don't see results right away. They don't let their emotions dictate their actions. They understand that greatness is built through consistency, through discipline, through pushing forward, even when it feels like nothing is working. You have to ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Because if you're not willing to suffer for it, if you're not willing to go all in, then you don't want it bad enough. The top performers in any field aren't where they are because they got lucky. They got there because they were willing to endure what others wouldn't. They were willing to put in the work when others were sleeping. They were willing to sacrifice distractions, to stay locked in, to push through doubt, fear, and uncertainty. And that's why they win. The truth is, your life will always reflect your daily habits. If you waste time every day, if you let distractions control you, if you keep putting things off until tomorrow, then don't be surprised when you look up 5 years from now and realize nothing has changed. But if you commit, if you make the decision right now that you're done playing small, that you're done waiting, that you're done making excuses, everything will shift. Because once your mindset changes, your actions change. And once your actions change, your results change. Look around. The people you admire, the ones who are at the top of their game, the ones who have the success, the freedom, the opportunities. They weren't handed any of it, they earned it. They took control of their time, their habits, their mindset. They refused to let distractions steal their future. They made a commitment to go all in, no matter what. And if they can do it, so can you. The only question is, will you? Will you stop making excuses? Will you stop waiting for the perfect time? Will you finally decide that your goals, your dreams, your success are worth the sacrifice? Or will you keep doing what you've always done, staying in the same cycle, watching others rise while you stay stuck? The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. No one is going to wake you up every morning and push you to be great. That's on you. That's your responsibility. And the moment you take full ownership of your life, everything changes. Because when you stop blaming, when you stop waiting, when you stop looking for shortcuts and you start putting in the real work, you become unstoppable. Every single day you have a choice. You can either move closer to the life you want or further away from it. You can either take action or make excuses. You can either build discipline or fall into distractions. But understand this, the ones who succeed, the ones who truly break through aren't the ones who have it easy. They're the ones who push through, no matter how hard it gets. They're the ones who wake up every day and decide that nothing, absolutely nothing, will stop them. They're the ones who are willing to put in the work over and over again until they make it happen. So if you're tired of being stuck, if you're tired of watching others succeed while you stay in the same place, then make the decision today, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, decide that you're done playing small. Decide that you're going to give everything you've got. Decide that you're going to be relentless, unshakable, unstoppable. Because once you do that, once you fully commit, once you refuse to quit, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. Number 7. The shocking reason why smart people fail and how you can avoid it. Imagine this. You're walking down a path, and it's clear as day that this path leads to success. It's not some distant dream. It's real, and you can feel it in your bones. But here's the catch. Many people, even the ones who are smart, talented, and capable, end up lost on that path. They're stuck. They're not getting where they want to go, and they don't understand why. I want to show you why this happens, and more importantly, how you can avoid it. You see, smart people fail all the time, and it's not because they lack intelligence. It's because they stop doing one very important thing: learning. That's right. It's not about being a genius. It's about staying hungry, staying curious, and always looking for opportunities to grow. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but I'm already smart. I've got the skills. I've got the experience. Why do I need to keep learning? And that's where the problem lies. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start losing. The truth is, intelligence is not enough to guarantee success. There are plenty of smart people out there who fail because they think they've already learned everything they need to know. And that mindset, thinking that you've arrived and don't need to keep growing, will destroy your chances of success. Here's what happens. The world doesn't stop moving just because you've reached a certain point. It keeps evolving, changing, and advancing. And if you're not continuously learning, you're falling behind. Smart people get comfortable. They think they've figured it out. But the world keeps changing. And without learning, they lose their edge. So even though they're smart, they fail because they stop growing. Let me tell you about the real reason why they fail. It's not a lack of ability. It's a lack of action. These people stop seeking knowledge. They stop being curious. They stop pushing themselves. They start to believe they know everything there is to know. And that's the dangerous mindset. Because here's the reality. No matter how smart you are, if you're not actively learning, you're losing. You might be thinking, but I'm working hard. I'm grinding every day. Why isn't that enough? Here's why. Hard work without growth is like running on a treadmill. You're putting in the effort, but you're not moving forward, and you can't afford to stay stagnant. The world doesn't reward effort without progress. It rewards those who are constantly evolving, constantly improving, and constantly learning. So how do you avoid falling into the same trap? First, stop thinking you know it all. No one does. The most successful people in the world are the ones who stay humble and stay hungry for knowledge. They're constantly asking questions, seeking answers, and exploring new areas of growth. They're always learning something new, and that's how they continue to stay ahead. And let me tell you something. It doesn't matter what field you're in. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, an athlete, an artist, or a teacher. The same rule applies across the board. You must keep learning, or you'll be left behind. The people who make it to the top are the ones who understand that growth is never finished. They understand that learning is a lifelong journey, not a destination. Now, I know this might sound like a lot of pressure, but I'm telling you this because it's the truth. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail often comes down to one thing: the willingness to keep learning. And the good news is, it's within your control. You can decide right now to adopt the mindset of a lifelong learner. You can decide to make learning a priority in your life. Because when you commit to learning, you're committing to growth. And when you commit to growth, you're setting yourself up for success. Think about it for a second. The smartest people you know, the ones who have achieved the most, are the ones who continue to expand their knowledge. They don't just rely on their intelligence. They rely on their willingness to learn. They read books, take courses, listen to podcasts, attend seminars. They find ways to grow every single day, and that's why they continue to succeed while others struggle. So here's the key takeaway. If you want to avoid failure and stay ahead of the pack, you must never stop learning. It's that simple. The moment you stop growing is the moment you start slipping backward. And if you're serious about your success, about achieving your goals, and about becoming the best version of yourself, then make learning a daily habit. Learn something new every day. Read a book, watch a tutorial, ask questions, seek out people who know more than you. And remember, learning doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be time-consuming. It's about finding ways to grow consistently, even if it's just a little bit every day. Now let's get real for a second. If you're not learning every day, you're falling behind. There's no middle ground here. If you're not actively educating yourself, someone else is, and they're moving ahead of you. The world doesn't wait for anyone. So you have two choices. You can keep going the way you've been going, or you can make a change right now. You can choose to start learning and growing every day, or you can let the world pass you by. Success is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most prepared, the most willing to grow, and the most dedicated to learning. And the moment you adopt that mindset is the moment your life will begin to change. So stop waiting, start learning, and watch as everything in your life begins to shift. Because when you commit to learning, you commit to becoming the best version of yourself. And that's when the real magic happens. Remember, no matter how smart you are, the key to success is never stopping the pursuit of knowledge. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward, and you will achieve things you never thought possible. The only thing standing between you and success is your willingness to learn. So make the decision today to stay hungry, stay curious, and never stop growing. Your future depends on it.
Number 8. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. It doesn't matter where you are in life, how much money you make, or how many people admire you. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. And it doesn't happen in one big obvious moment. It happens gradually, day by day, without you even realizing it. If you think you can stop learning and still move forward, you're setting yourself up for failure. So, let me say it again, clearly and with purpose. If you're not learning, you're losing. The world moves at lightning speed. Technology, industries, and knowledge itself are evolving every single day. You cannot afford to take a break from growth. The moment you stop learning, you stop evolving, and that's when everything starts to slip away. Whether it's in your career, your personal life, or your relationships. If you're not actively feeding your mind, you're falling behind. Time doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't care if you've worked hard for the past 10 years, or if you've mastered one skill. If you're not adapting and learning new things, it doesn't matter how good you were yesterday. The world is leaving you behind. Think about it for a second. How many people do you know who were once on top of their game, but now seem stuck, stagnant, or even outdated? They were the ones who got comfortable, who stopped learning, and assumed that the knowledge they had was enough. But that's never enough. You can never have enough knowledge. It's not about what you know now. It's about what you're willing to learn next. Because here's the truth. The moment you stop learning, that's when the world starts to pass you by. And here's the most shocking part. Most people don't even notice this happening to them. They think they're still on track because they're doing the same things they've always done. They work hard, they get things done, but they're not progressing. And it's because they've stopped feeding their mind. They've stopped learning, stopped growing, stopped challenging themselves. They think that hard work alone will get them where they want to be, but it won't. Hard work is important, but it's not enough. Without learning, all the effort you put into your day-to-day life is like spinning your wheels. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. You're stuck in the same place. The real danger is that this doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you wake up one day and suddenly realize you're behind. It's a slow process, a quiet slip. One missed opportunity to learn here, one day of neglecting growth there, and before you know it, you've fallen behind. Not because you didn't work hard, but because you didn't learn. Because learning is the key to staying ahead, to staying relevant, to staying in the game. And without it, you'll start to see the results of stagnation creeping into your life. And I'm not talking about learning in a formal textbook kind of way. No, I'm talking about learning in the real world, learning from the experiences you go through, the people you meet, the books you read, the conversations you have. The world is full of knowledge, but it's up to you to seek it out. Don't wait for someone else to teach you. Don't expect everything to come to you on a silver platter. You have to go after it. You have to make learning a priority. Because if you don't, you're losing. Simple as that. Now here's where things get even more intense. Not only is it crucial to keep learning for your own personal growth, but the people around you are constantly learning as well. That's right. The people who are constantly ahead of you are the ones who never stop learning. They're reading, they're listening, they're observing. They're always looking for ways to improve themselves, to expand their knowledge, to sharpen their skills. And if you're not doing the same, you're already behind. You see, knowledge is power, but it's also the fuel that keeps you moving forward. And if you're not filling your tank, how can you expect to go anywhere? You need to be constantly learning, constantly evolving, constantly sharpening your mind. Because here's the cold, hard truth. If you're not actively seeking knowledge, someone else is. And while you're staying comfortable in your current state, they're out there gaining the skills, the insights, and the experience that you're missing. And that's how the gap starts to widen. That's how the successful keep moving ahead, while the rest of the world stays stuck. So, what do you do about it? You make learning a part of your daily life. It's that simple. If you want to stay ahead, you need to start today, right now. Make learning a priority. Read a book, take a course, attend a seminar, watch videos that challenge your thinking, listen to podcasts that push your boundaries. Never stop seeking out new ways to expand your knowledge. The moment you make that commitment is the moment you stop falling behind and start gaining ground. And trust me on this, when you make learning a daily habit, your life will change. You'll be amazed at how quickly you start to see results. You'll find that opportunities start opening up to you. You'll become the person who others turn to for answers. People will start noticing the difference, and you'll start seeing the results of your hard work, your growth, and your commitment to learning. The truth is, if you're not learning every day, you're falling behind. No matter how successful you are today, no matter how many people admire you, if you're not feeding your mind with knowledge, you're losing. The world doesn't wait for you to catch up. It keeps moving. And if you're not moving with it, you're being left behind. So make the decision today. Make learning a part of your life. Because the truth is, if you're not learning, you're falling behind.
Number 9. How to become the smartest person in any room without being a genius. You don't have to be a genius to be the smartest person in the room. In fact, the truth is, the smartest people in any room aren't always the ones with the highest IQ. They're the ones who know how to listen, learn, and understand more deeply than others. They know that intelligence isn't about being born with it, it's about cultivating it every single day. You have the power to be that person, the one everyone turns to for insight, the one who stands out because they know more, see more, and understand more. You don't need to be born a genius to have the wisdom that makes you stand out. You just have to start learning like one. You can become the smartest person in any room by simply making the decision to grow your mind every day. Now let's get something straight. The smartest person in the room isn't the one who knows it all or has all the answers. Far from it. The truly smartest people are the ones who understand that learning is a lifelong pursuit. That you don't stop gathering knowledge just because you've reached a certain point. They don't settle for what they already know. They're always looking for more, always seeking new perspectives, new information, new ways of thinking. And this is where you have the advantage. You don't need to wait for a moment of brilliance to arrive or for some miracle to happen. You simply need to commit to a daily practice of learning and growing. The reality is, being the smartest person in the room isn't about having a big ego or trying to impress others. It's about being curious, being open, and being willing to put in the work. The people who truly stand out in life are the ones who don't rely on their natural talent or intelligence. They rely on their ability to continually learn, adapt, and apply new information. These are the people who never stop growing. They don't see challenges as obstacles. They see them as opportunities to learn. They don't back away from difficult problems. They face them head-on, knowing that every challenge is a chance to expand their knowledge and strengthen their abilities. So how do you become that person? How do you become the one who's always one step ahead of everyone else? The one who is always seen as the smartest in the room? It all starts with making learning a non-negotiable part of your life. Don't wait for someone to hand you the answers. Don't wait for someone to tell you what to do. You have the power to seek out the knowledge you need to succeed. And you should take full advantage of that power every single day. This doesn't mean you have to become obsessed with learning or bury yourself in books for hours on end. It's not about how much you know, it's about the commitment you make to learning consistently. every single day. You might not have hours to spend studying, but you can find small pockets of time throughout your day to absorb new information. Listen to podcasts during your commute. Read articles during your lunch break. Watch videos that challenge your thinking while you're working out or winding down for the night. It's not about the quantity of time you spend learning. It's about the consistency and the intentionality behind it. When you make learning a habit, it becomes a part of who you are, and that's when the magic starts to happen. Now let's talk about the mindset shift that needs to take place for this to work. Most people think that intelligence is something you're either born with or you're not, but that's not true. Intelligence isn't fixed. It's flexible. You can grow your intelligence by developing the right mindset and committing to lifelong learning. If you think you've reached your limit, that's when you stop growing. But if you embrace the idea that there is always more to learn, that you can always improve, then you unlock your potential to become the smartest person in any room. Intelligence is not about memorizing facts. It's about learning how to think critically, solve problems, and adapt to new situations. The smartest people aren't necessarily the ones who have all the answers. They're the ones who know how to ask the right questions. They understand that the world is constantly changing, and they are always seeking new ways to expand their understanding. This is where you can excel. Instead of trying to show off what you already know, focus on understanding what you don't know. Ask questions. Seek out new perspectives. Surround yourself with people who challenge you and make you think differently. When you do this, you'll start to see opportunities for growth that you never noticed before. It's also important to recognize that becoming the smartest person in the room isn't just about knowledge. It's about how you apply that knowledge. Knowledge without action is useless. You can read every book, watch every video, and listen to every podcast, but if you don't apply what you've learned, it won't make a difference. The true test of intelligence is how you take what you learn and use it to make better decisions, solve problems, and create positive change in your life and the lives of those around you. And here's the thing, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. The smartest person in the room isn't the one with all the answers. They're the one who is constantly learning, adapting, and improving. They're the one who is always evolving, always moving forward. That's what sets them apart. So if you want to be that person, the one who stands out, the one who is always seen as the smartest in the room, commit to learning every single day. Make it a habit, make it a priority, and watch as the doors of opportunity start opening up for you in ways you never thought possible. The beauty of this is that it's within your control. You don't need anyone's permission to start learning, to grow, to become the smartest person in the room. All you need is the willingness to put in the work, to challenge yourself, and to embrace the journey of lifelong learning. So go ahead, make that commitment today. Start learning, start growing, and become the person you were always meant to be. Because when you learn every day, when you grow every day, you become unstoppable, and that's when the world takes notice. Number 10. This one decision will determine where you end up in life. It's not a vague promise, it's the cold, hard truth. You see, in life, we often focus on the grand scheme of things, our long-term goals, the big picture, but we overlook the small, seemingly insignificant choices we make every day. These small decisions are the ones that stack up, and eventually, they create the life we live. The question is, are you making the decisions that will lead you toward your dreams, or are you making choices that will keep you stuck? The difference between where you are right now and where you want to be in life comes down to the decisions you make on a daily basis. It's about the small things, how you spend your time, the habits you build, the mindset you cultivate. These decisions may seem minor in the moment, but over time, they add up to something far bigger. Every single choice you make is a stepping stone, and the path you walk on depends on the steps you take today. It's up to you to decide if you want to keep moving forward, or if you're going to stay where you are. But no one else can make that choice for you. Think about this every day. You have the opportunity to shape your future. You may not realize it, but the things you choose to focus on, the way you spend your time, the things you invest in, these are the things that will determine your success or failure in life. One decision, just one, can turn everything around. Maybe it's the decision to wake up earlier, to spend 30 minutes reading, to build a new habit that leads to success.
Maybe it's deciding to step outside your comfort zone, to take a risk that scares you. Maybe it's just choosing to keep going when things get tough, to stay committed to the path, even when you don't feel like it. Here's the reality. Most people let life happen to them. They wait for things to change, for circumstances to improve, for opportunities to fall into their lap. But that's not how it works. Life doesn't hand you anything. You have to go out and take it. You have to make the decision to go after what you want, to do the hard work, and to make the right choices every single day. No one is going to come and do it for you. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you can start taking charge of your life and creating the future you want. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't make that decision to act. When you let fear, doubt, or procrastination control your life, you end up stuck. You end up living in the what-ifs and the some days. The problem is those what-ifs and some days don't get you anywhere. They don't pay the bills, they don't build your career, and they don't create your future. Waiting for the right time, waiting for things to be perfect, these are all excuses that keep you stuck. The perfect time never comes. The right moment never arrives. You have to decide to act, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you're not sure how things will turn out. The decision to start is what sets everything in motion. The best part is, it's never too late to make that decision. You might think you've missed your chance, that the opportunities have passed you by, but that's simply not true. Every single day is a new opportunity to choose a different path. Every single moment is a chance to change your life. It's the decisions you make today that will lead you to where you want to be tomorrow. But if you keep putting things off, if you keep waiting for the right time, you'll keep getting the same results you've always gotten. The key to change is action, and the key to action is making that decision. One of the biggest obstacles people face is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But here's the thing, fear is normal. Everyone feels it. The most successful people in the world aren't fearless. They just don't let fear stop them. They make the decision to move forward despite their fear. The difference between the people who achieve their goals and the people who don't isn't that the successful people are fearless. It's that they decide to take action in the face of fear. They decide that their goals are more important than their fears and they push through it. If you want to achieve anything in life, you have to make the decision to take action even when you're scared. That's the only way to move forward. Another thing that holds people back is the fear of making the wrong decision. We're often so afraid of making the wrong choice that we end up not making any choice at all. But inaction is the wrong decision. Staying where you are is the wrong decision. Not taking risks is the wrong decision. Life is full of uncertainties, but if you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never move forward. Making decisions even if they turn out to be wrong is better than making no decision at all. It's through trial and error that we learn, grow, and ultimately succeed. If you want to get ahead, you have to be willing to make decisions, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. You see, it all comes down to this: the decisions you make today will determine where you end up tomorrow. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a step in the direction of your future. If you want to be successful, you have to make decisions that align with your goals. If you want to build a better life, you have to make decisions that push you outside your comfort zone. If you want to grow, you have to decide to keep learning, to keep improving, and to keep moving forward. No matter what, the power is in your hands. The only thing standing between you and your success is the decision to act. So what will you decide today? Will you continue to wait for the perfect moment, or will you make the decision to take action now? Will you continue to let fear hold you back, or will you decide that your dreams are worth facing your fears? The choice is yours. The decision is yours. And that decision will shape the life you live. It's time to take control of your future, to start making the choices that will get you where you want to go. Don't wait any longer. Your future is in your hands. Make the decision to take action today and start building the life you've always dreamed of.